Stance card. Two values to pay attention to. Heat and turn. Parry plus 2. Thanks for the like. Hello. Gifts have expired. Okay. Choose artifacts. If a stance, one stance breaks, other gains strength. Or heal 2 HP. I'm sure I've done a voyage already, so a bit annoying I'm back on Aiden voyage. Wistmaster's counterattacks. Okay. One attack force. We start with 4 there. 3 attack force this time. That means we'll parry perfectly. Very good. And we'll just use that up. Then counterattacks trigger an auto switch. Yes, I've switched now. Choose shadow slash. Pull that up for now. No, fire. Wave survived. What's popping in is with keyboard controls Inflict one open. Double primary. I think that'll be useful to get some doubles. Right. Nice. Planning to guard. Switch. Oh, that's gonna pinch me. Yep. So they've got a total of 25 armor. Shadow Slash, come on. Oh, I do need to... Nice. Switch and yeah. Is one of my controllers plugged in? It's is that? It's not plugged in. It's the network. It's not plugged in. It's not plugged in. It's not plugged in. It's the piano, yep. It's my keyboard. That one's... the monitor. Yep. Can't figure out what's glitching my controls. Pierce and parry. Counter-attack bypasses. Ooh. Leeway. Ooh. Temporary. Permanently removed. Okay. Triple priming is pretty powerful. But an 8 power stance, that's also pretty good. That's annoying. Can't kill anyone, can't... Yeah. Break stance. Primary to all enemies is pretty good. Oh. Well, congrats. Okay. Knock the first one out with a counter attack.
Yolk of inorganic silly milk.
Lizzie Graham. Do you know that the fictional city of Gotham is based on the mythological place of Australia? Yeah, Australia is a myth. What emote is that? Deep thoughts. Heal 2 HP when you're performing lethal counterattack. Defeat the island boss to make landfall. Well, this is unfair. You don't say. Strength, yeah. How are you going, Alicia and Lamp? Well done. You died.
Matey.
What's silly milk? And I get it. Like, I enjoy a loaf of organic normal milk. Contract of Resurrection and Binding Agreement. In the year of our Lord, 1733, let it be known and recorded in the Ledger of the Tarshish. This binding covenant is struck betwixt Davy Jones and one Master Thomas Essex, lately departed soul and former deckhand of the brigantine Thrust of Fortune. Davy Jones shall restore the breath and blood of Master Essex, insofar as he may sail once more. Master Essex is charged to keep the black spot on his person at all times and in perpetuity. If Master Essex requires further resurrection, all currency obtained whilst under his revived tenure shall be subject to a levy. Now, something's mucking up. Just try restarting it to see if that helps. Sin. So it can't go in there, but what else can I unplug? The piano is turned off. Still just flickering. Try unplugging that. No, not the Stream Deck. Uh, Uh, did I not download that? Oh, no, this is the updated one. Yeah. Mm. Um, oh no, David Jones, DQ. I need some music. Just that way. Did I? Yeah, I had finished this. Finished reading that part. What was the feedback? um, Kaylin and Cedric. Not Cedric. Cedric. Yeah. So I offered Saku to help. She wanted to have an audiobook because some of her friends McGannon Manor. For once, getting up early didn't feel like a chore for Sunkalak. His nerves were through the roof. Better turn down streams so they're not distracting. For once, getting up early didn't feel like a chore for Sunkalak. His nerves were through the roof, knowing that today he would travel up to the mountains using the Skytrain. He'd never ridden the Skytrain before, or any train for that matter, so this will be a unique experience for him. Sunkalak and Cedric were always pretty sheltered thanks to the war. It started when they were very young, so this is the only life they knew. Still, the mountain district was safe and was not impacted by the war at all. Before long, Sunkalak was dressed and ready to go. Now he was just triple-checking his bag to make sure he has everything he needs out there. He didn't need to wake up this early. But he wanted to make sure Cedric saw him off before he left for classes that day. When Cedric woke up, Sunkalak was ready to go. Cedric beamed at Sunkalak. "You're gonna do great out there, Con. That man Kai Lin. Hopefully he isn't a stuck-up entitled guy, but I know you'll be able to recruit him." "Are you sure? I'm a bit worried. He's been overly suspicious of me. So what if he thinks I'm dangerous and has set up some sort of, I don't know, like a sting operation?" Yep. He's a rich guy, not a mafia boss. Relax, everything will be just fine. Still only half-dressed, Cedric pulled Con into a comforting hug, giving a tight squeeze before pulling away to place a tiny, delicate kiss on Con's cheek. "He's got no choice but to believe you. You're the most honest and friendly person I know," says the guy with hard glasses and a heart on his cheek. "Nobody is more lovable than you are." "Well, what are you waiting for? Gaz and Dad are probably ready to see you off. Make sure you go talk to them before you go." Sunkalak smiled and watched as Cedric departed back to his room to get ready for class. Sunkalak breathed a deep sigh, then headed out to the front porch where he knew Gaz and Meridew would be waiting for him. Actually... for an audiobook you wouldn't want music in the background. I know what to do. Advanced audio properties. And I think it's untick from track 2, so it's not on the VOD. Okay, so the VOD should be musicless now. Sunkellic breathed a deep sigh, then headed out to the front porch, where he knew Gaz and Merridew would be waiting for him. When Sunkellic came outside, he was greeted by Gaz with a thermos cup filled with tea. Still nice and hot for Sunkellic's long train ride. As far as they knew, Sunkellic was going to be travelling around for journalism reasons. They don't have to know the full story yet. Just enough to make sure they don't worry about anything. Lucky for him, Merridew has always been a bit of an airhead, overly happy and friendly, just like his son. It is because Merridew and Gaz chose to live together in the same house that Sunkellic and Cedric were able to grow up together. So Sunkellic was very fond of Merridew, even though he rarely sees him. Merridew was a soldier after all, so his leave is few and far between thanks to the war. Still, he had taken time off for Sunkellic's graduation and to see him off on his journey. Gaz was Sunkellic's guardian, and it was the one person Sunkellic could count on throughout his life. Sunkellic was an orphan when Gaz met him, and Sunkellic was, apparently, an extremely timid child who didn't like to open up to anyone other than Gaz. That said, Gaz wanted to adopt Sunkellic, though he wasn't formally able to adopt Little Con even after the orphanage burned to the ground, leaving Sunkellic the only child to survive. Nobody knows why Con didn't die of smoke inhalation like the other children, but he was grateful to be alive and living with Gaz. So, are you excited? Gaz asked, excitement showing in his eyes. Should be interesting. There's a guy I need to meet for a project of mine. If all goes well, I'll definitely text you the details. I'm sure I'll meet some interesting people out there. Don't forget to utilize the journal too. I want to be able to read all about your journey when you're finished. Gaz giggled at his own remark before turning to Merridew. Hopefully I'll still be around when you get back, huh? Don't say that. You're plenty strong enough. Don't say that. You're plenty strong enough. Besides, you've got Sirius and Solix to count on. Solix will heal you right up, and Sirius will still be fighting by your side, right? Yeah, that's true. So, Con, please be careful out there, okay? I will, I promise. When Sunkellic made it onto the train, he found himself doodling in a sketchbook, trying not to make eye contact with anyone on the train for fear of embarrassing himself. He may be 18, but he probably looks like a 13-year-old kid. Curses baby face. St. Kellic found himself with his music playing in his headphones. Idly drawn characters from a story he and Cedric made up when they were children. Distracted by his drawing, Con failed to notice that there was a woman sitting beside him, watching him draw. Somewhat alarmed, he gently pulled out one of his earbuds, nudging the woman on the arm as he shifted to make himself more comfortable. She was a curvy woman with bright eyes that looked somewhat unnatural. He couldn't place it, but there was something strange about her. Can I help you, ma'am? Oh, sorry for steering. No, I don't need anything from you. I just like to see people draw. I can't draw very well, but I love to see others with such talent. You're really good. Are you an art student? No, a journalism student, actually. Really? Huh, must be a lot for a journalism student to write about right now. High school or college? In between at the moment. I graduated in February. Oh, you graduated early. Congrats. You must be a smart guy then. Ah, thanks. That's very kind of you. The woman sighed as the train made its next stop, hoisting a pack over her shoulder as she stood to leave. She smiled at Con and waved goodbye, causing Con to smile and wave back instinctively. He felt the eyes of other train passengers as they watched her walk away from him. Con chose to ignore the awkward stares as he screwed in his headphones and continued drawing in a sketchbook. He'll be on this train for a while still, so he'd better get comfortable. Melodize reading it. I'll just join on there. Oh, and Abel's got raided. Okay, back to reading. St. Kellic wakes up hours later to someone from the train station nudging him awake, telling him that this is the train's last stop. Con fell asleep. He was supposed to get off a few stops back. Who knows where he ended up now? At least it gives him a story to write about. When St. Kellic stumbles out of the train station, he's greeted by the smell of cinnamon and pumpkin as he steps out to a small country town. Sonkalek gawked at the beautiful wooden cabins and warm lights around him as he stepped into the nearest cafe to grab some food and whatever that cinnamon-smelling food or drink was. Hey, look away. Sonkalek was delighted to find out that this cafe sold a wide variety of teas and warm pastries. Hello. I'm not familiar with a lot of the menu items. Mind giving me a suggestion? Ah, new to the mountains, are you? What are you craving? Sweet, salty, savory, vegan, or just vegetarian? Not vegan, no. Wouldn't hurt to buy a sweet for later. But I've been on the train for hours, so what's the most filling thing you have on the menu? How about a vegetarian shepherd's pie? That sound good, young man? Yeah, that sounds great. And a cinnamon chai as well. And whatever the most popular Danish flavour is. Never had shepherd's pie or Danishes, but they both sound incredible. You'll get on just fine here with that attitude. Young ones tend to just stick to what they're used to, so seeing a traveller so keen to try our specialties is a welcome treat for an old lady like me. Sonkalek paid his total before sitting at a table and plugging his phone charger into a nearby outlet. He needs to figure out where to stay for the night. It's very late, and there's no way he can catch a bus or anything until the morning anyways, so he needs a place to sleep for the night. When the waitress brought over Con's order, he found himself snapping a photo and sending it to Cedric, immediately warranting a lot of heart emojis as a response. Everything that he ordered was absolutely delicious. Before long, he found himself at a nearby inn, with a small, cozy bed and free beverages for the night and morning. He'll appreciate filling his water bottle in the morning for whatever lies ahead. The journal. Just clothes, a little waistcoat, black waistcoat, and purple hoodie. Yeah. Scarf. And yep, separate hat. McGannon Manor. Val, how are you? When's your debut? Can't remember if you're July or August. I'll try to read the chapter without interruptions. Hey, Big Bo, welcome in. How close are you to affiliate? Because I can't use those. Can't use the emotes in other channels yet. Yeah, so you've submitted the text stuff? Okay. McGannon Manor. Unsure of his next steps, Sonkalek finds himself back at the cafe the next morning for some pastries for the road, and to seek out directions to the McGannon Manor. The waitress seemed startled by Sonkalek's question, but indicated where it was on Sonkalek's map, In the next bus, they would take him close to the town closest to it. The manor was a ways away from the nearest town, which meant that Sunkalek will likely have to hike, since he doesn't have a car or have any desire to rent one. Still, he has to see how far he can get today. At least he didn't give Kai Lin a super succinct time frame when he'd be there. When Sunkalek arrived at the bus station, he noticed many men who were clearly day drinking and completely wasted, even though the day had barely begun. Sunkalek did his best to avoid them as he sat on a bench and waited for the bus to arrive. The men don't appear to be waiting for the bus, so when it gets here, he won't have to deal with them. Sunkalek tunes himself out from the loud rambling of the drunken men as he watches and waits for the bus. When the bus arrives, he climbs on and takes a seat, checking his phone to message Cedric with an update. So far, everything has been uneventful, but I'm looking forward to trying all the food here. That shepherd's pie last night was absolutely delicious, and so are the pastries. I'd love to take you here sometimes, and you'd love the sweets and tea. That's so cool. Glad you're having fun. I am. Getting to McGannon Manor will be super annoying, though. I have to go off-road on a path, and with no car, that means I'll have to walk. Rip. Huh. Better you than me. Well, anyways, class starting. Love ya. Bye-bye. Sunkalek smiled at his phone, looking out the window to observe the scenery on the hour-long bus ride to Mistletoe Creek. The mountains were absolutely beautiful, but so chilly compared to back home in the forest. Sunkalek stared out at the forest in the distance, awestruck by the beautiful scenery below. As he looked out, something way off in the distance caught his eye, but he couldn't make out what it was. It was way out there, well beyond the Forest Kingdom. Due to the direction, it wasn't the Woodland Kingdom, but it couldn't be the Wildlands, right? Is there a giant building out in the Twin Mountains region? No, that's impossible. He has to be mistaken. Building on the mountain. When Sunkalek reached a stop, he stepped out of the bus into a bustling street lined with street vendors. Sunkalek couldn't help but glance through everyone's wares, looking for any kind of souvenir. He brought some homemade lemon blueberry cookies and a forest idol for Kylan, as a sort of nice-to-meet-you gift. But he knew he had to get something for Cedric too. As Con looked over his options, his eyes fell to a peculiar diamond-shaped pendant with an emerald. The one thing Sunkalek remembered about Kai Lin and the dreamscape is that he always had emerald green in his attire. A beanie, shirt, jumpsuit, whatever. He almost always wore emerald green. Yep, sorry, gotta take a break. Sorry. Mm. Uh, Huh. I have no ad snoozes. That's strange, because I've only been streaming briefly and don't remember ever snoozing. Unless... No, we're only 1 hour in, so there's not been any chance to snooze. Mm. Mm. As Cotton looked over his options, his eyes fell to a peculiar diamond-shaped pendant with an emerald. The one thing Sir Calic remembered about Kylan and the dreamscape is that he always had emerald green in his attire. A beanie, shirt, jumpsuit, whatever. He almost always wore emerald green. Maybe he likes jewellery. Unsure whether he made the right decision, Con purchased the peculiar pendant and a cute owl doll for Cedric, and began to follow his map in the direction of McGannon Manor. He could see it off in the distance now. It must be enormous. At least he's not lost. After stopping for lunch, St. Calic began to make his way toward McGannon Manor, deciding that today would be the day he made it there. He needs to meet Kylan and get to know him a little. Thankfully, Kylan did mention that he was welcome to stay at the manor in a guest room, so at least he won't be forced to go back to Mistletoe Creek for a hotel. The hotels in such a large city would likely be too pricey for what Con has on hand for now. On the long walk up to McGannon Manor, Con found himself rehearsing what to say, both to Kylan himself and to his family. He's likely going to meet Kylan's family, as awkward as it was. He knows how much influence Les and Alice McGannon have in the Mountain District, and he also knows how close they are to Esmeralda, the leader of this district. Saying it's nerve-wracking would be an understatement. I need to check, is this the proofread version? Uh, right. I'll probably wait for... it's... Let's wait for ads to finish before I get back to reading. Mm. Ian's done. Hmm. Thanks for the raid, Fluffy. How was your stream? In scale. It was good to see you guys streaming. Mm. Mm. Is it bedtime for Skill, or you stay up a while? The awesome broodsters. Ooh, breeding going on. Yep. Uh, reading a book that Sukurowosi has written. Up for another few minutes. Yeah. And Fluffy. Yeah. How was your day? I'll keep reading. After stopping for lunch, Sunkellic began to make his way towards McGannon Manor, deciding that today would be the day he made it there. He needs to meet Kylan and get to know him a little. I did that already. I got to saying it's nerve-wracking would be an understatement. When Sunkellic finally reached the doorstep to the manor, he tentatively knocked while examining the beautiful garden entrance he just walked through. The garden was lined with neatly trimmed hedges, beautiful, well-cared-for flowers, and 2 geyser fountains that likely served as the only watering can the garden ever needed. Who is it? Hello, my name's Sunkellic White. I came to see Kaelin. Ah, young master's guest. Of course. The door unlocked, revealing an older gentleman who appeared to be some sort of butler or other help for the McGannon family. The gentleman led Con inside, directing him into the large living room where a young woman sat on her phone. Miss Melodia, this is the young master's guest, Sunkellic White. Would you like me to get the heads of house to meet him before the young master? They're probably still stuck in their lab right now. Just check to see if their do not disturb sign is up, Melodia replied. Indeed, I will return shortly. Hello there. Sorry to disturb you, Con chimed in. You aren't disturbing anyone. You're Skylar's friend, right? That young white mouse he talks about sometimes. Yeah, that's me. You're Melodia, right? Yep, that's me. Too bad Skylar's not on leave right now. I'm sure he'd love to see you. Anyways, my little brother's sort of a stickler for not being bothered while they're in their lab. So if they're busy, you may have to wait a while. That's all right. I don't mind at all. Anyways, you walked up here, right? Are you hungry? No, I ate before I got here, thank you. I have half a bottle of water left, too, so no drinks necessary. Though tea might be nice if you have any. Gods, you're not one of those sweet tea drinkers, are you? Too many folks in the southern parts of the mountains like that crap. I've never had sweet tea. I meant like brewed tea. I had a really good chai tea at a small little cafe in Davenport. What'd you go to Davenport for? That's a bit further from home than here is. I fell asleep on the train. It's okay, though. I'm a journalist, so I'm open to exploring and trying new things. Davenport was never a planned stop, but it was still a nice one. My parents aren't home today. They're actually out for the weekend. Is Sunkellic your preferred name? Also, what are your pronouns? That's not something I've ever been asked before. I go by Con, usually. And male. Why do you ask? My little brother is non-binary, so they use they and them pronouns. Please don't mess this up if you want to stay on their good side. Also, don't ask about their appearance. I think they're tired of people asking. What do you mean? Con asked curiously. Before Melodia could answer, the butler returns with a tiny robot rabbit in tow. Before Melodia could answer, the butler returns with a tiny robot rabbit in tow. Sunkellic stares in confusion as Little Rabbit looks him up and down with a small laser pointer-like stare. Before Con can ask, Con hears a voice from a speaker somewhere in the robot. Ah, hello there, Flower. Follow Robun to my lab, please. Let's talk in private. Sunkellic wordlessly follows Robun up a large flight of stairs, all the way to the top floor of the 5-story mansion. Robun unlocks a large metal door, motioning for Con to follow it inside. When Sunkellic follows the robot inside, he notices Kaelin. Just a spam bot on Discord. Sonic wordlessly follows Robun up a large flight of stairs, all the way to the top floor of the 5-story mansion. Robun unlocks a large metal door, motioning for Con to follow it inside. When Sunkellic follows the robot inside, he notices Kaelin standing against a wall with a small remote control and a visor on their head. When they remove the visor, Sunkellic suddenly understands what Melodia meant. Kaelin was a slender young individual, maybe in their mid-20s, with long slender ears and cleanly brushed hair. Their right arm appeared to be a metallic prosthetic of sorts, and their right eye appeared to have a metal plate installed, covering what Con could only guess was an empty eye socket. Kylan looked at Con coldly, as if expecting him to say something. Kylan's left eye has a diamond-shaped marking. Hey there, it's nice to meet you. I'm Sunkallik, but I usually go by Con, if that suits you better. That's an odd nickname. Why Con instead of Cal? It's sort of a long story. Con is a nickname my childhood best friend gave me. I see. You can either call me Kai or Len. Nobody calls me Kylan, so don't bother doing so, okay? So, did you want to talk about the prophecy? I can't deny that I'm interested in what you have to say about it. What makes you think that something like that even exists anyway? Kai answered. How else would you explain these weird dreams? I clearly interacted with you personally in your dream. Otherwise, how else would you have recognized me? I've got some theories, like how it could pertain to a magic user's ability to use the magic, or the reach in which the magic can extend to. That's cool and all, but how would that explain me seeing King Lucius II in a dreamscape? No way magic would be able to reach that far, right? King Lucius II? The King of the Wildlands? Yes. I haven't pieced together the identities of all the marked individuals, but Lucius is definitely one of them. The Wildlands royal bloodline is the only family of wolves in all of Harmonia with white fur, right? His fur was white as snow, and looked well cleaned and trimmed every time I saw him in the dreamscape. That's got to mean something to you, right? So you want to recruit all these marked people to save the world or whatever? Shouldn't you be able to provide a better explanation? Like, why would the King of the Wildlands, the Forest Kingdom's enemy, believe a word you say? I haven't gotten that far yet. Besides, you're not the only one in the forest and mountain region who has a mark. As Sunkallik explained to Kai everything he knew in depth, he saw a growing look of understanding on Kai's face. The face softened, but they still had some questions that Con just couldn't answer right now. I don't suppose you could help me find that burly rabbit? His dreamscape looked mountainous and chilly. I bet he still lives in the mountains, Con finally said. Hold on now. You haven't completely sold me. Where's your proof that these marks are even real to begin with? How do I know that the flower mark in your ear isn't a tattoo? I've childhood photos. Here, I'll show you. You'll even see my buddy Cedric's mark too. That perfect teardrop shape on his neck. There's no way that's a coincidence. You have to admit that. We've had these markings all our lives, and I'm sure your diamond mark on your eye is the same way, right? Yeah. Why are you intending on recruiting the strange rabbit first, anyways? Didn't you say he was, I don't know, super eerie and aggressive? What did he look like? Dark brown fur with maple red and orange accents. Long floppy ears, I think down to the waist. Dark eyes. He has a heart mark on his right eye, mirroring the diamond marking you have. Anything that makes us connected somehow? From what I've read, and from what Munu told me, the heart and diamond marked individuals were fated to be siblings. The previous marked individuals were twins, but that obviously doesn't mean you have to be. Can't say I've ever been interested in my birth family, but I don't think it's a good assumption to just say I have a brother, much less a twin. You don't have to come with me. Just text me and help from the sidelines. When I find him, yeah, I'll probably need your help, but until then, you can just be on standby, okay? I know you're not completely sold, but think of it this way. If the prophecy isn't real, then no harm done, right? But when it turns out to be true, then not doing anything would make whatever happens sort of our fault, wouldn't it? Not the way I'd think of it. Nobody likes a god complex, kid. Yeah, I know. Just please see this through to the end with me. At least help me find the marked people. Mm. Yep, just gotta check something real quick. Yeah, fine, whatever. In exchange, you'll have to help me with my little project. If it works out well, it may even help you reach the wildlands without endangering yourself, too. Sunkalik eyed the strange wristband with a look of confusion and awe. Kai must be a genius to make so many gadgets like this. Roban shrank down into a tiny little cube and stuck itself in this weird wristband like a flash drive. How is this even possible? Still, Con listened intently to Kai's instructions on how to use their gadgets and what needs to be done for Kai's project. So you want me to wear this wristband, which scans for magic, and also houses Roban to charge it? You want me to take Roban with me? Why? It'll be our way of keeping contact. The mic and earpiece is for times when it's not ideal to use Roban's speakers to talk with me. I'd suggest keeping the earpiece in regardless, since I'm sure you'll attract unwanted attention if Roban talks all the time. Right. But what's your goal? I'm a magic researcher. I want to understand magic better. That said, Munu told you there are 14 magics in the world, and each marked person has a different magic, right? So by studying magic in all its forms, we can figure out what our unique magics are and use it later on. That'll help us understand our magic. That's true. But I already know how to use my magic. Uh-huh. And what magic would that be? Spiritual magic, the healing one. Healing has been something I've always done ever since I was a kid. I think I unlocked my magic when I was a child, since I'm the only one who didn't die when the orphanage burned down. Of course, my family doesn't know about my magic, and that includes Cedric. I see. Guess that means you'll be able to improve your magic with my research, right? Anyways, I'd suggest sticking around here at the manor before leaving to look for that heart-marked man. Let's wait until we find some leads before diving into this. The heart magic of healing. Hey, Bun! I don't have a Bun command, but I can do that. And do I have a good... That's a pretty good one. How are you, Bun? I will go piss real quick. Yeah. Oh, welcome back, Scar. I'm watching Milsa draw a commission for me. Don't know how well you can see, but there's the line arts taking shape. Yeah, I wanted to help Saku with the book to record it so friends who don't want to read can listen to it. What are we at? I'll probably go till 2 hours with reading. Journal entry number 2. I've never given too much thought to the different types of magics, and even Kai doesn't seem to know all of the magic types just yet. He isn't even sure what magic he might have, since he's never had use of magic all his life. Still, he seemed excited at the prospect. He won't admit it, but I can tell he enjoys the thought that he might also have magic. 1. Spiritual magic. Self. The ability to heal oneself and others using a gentle, soothing magic that repairs wounds and cures ailments. I'm fairly well adjusted to using my spiritual magic, though I've never tried to use it on others, only myself. As a child, I suffered burn injuries that still leave scars on my body to this day. I used my healing magic on myself a lot growing up, to soothe the burning sensation, but I always lied and told Gaz that it was the ointments he gave me that helped me so much. 2. Tainted magic. A mutated magic with unknown abilities. Never produced naturally in recorded history, and exceedingly rare. I can't help but wonder if any marked individual would have this. Still, tainted magic is documented to have physical deformities. So maybe that scorpionish young man with a skull on the back of his head, or the three-eyed wolf. Yep. No first for me. Shapeshifting. 3. Shapeshifting. The unique ability to change the genetic composition of oneself into a different species. Change the color of fur, change height and weight, and invert into a wide variety of wildlife. Inverting is such a natural thing that it's almost hard to believe that anyone can invert into an animal that doesn't match their own race. Can a rabbit shapeshifter turn themselves into a wolf? I'd love to know. And as for who has this, I know Carbon and the Unknown Child are shapeshifters. As for which one is the proxy for the magic, I won't know until I meet them, I guess. 4. Mind magic. The ability to manipulate the world around them telepathically, or without touching any objects. I wasn't sure if this was even real magic until Kai told me. It really sounds fake, but it's apparently been documented a few times historically. It must be very rare. In order for any of this to make sense, I guess the elemental magics need to be separated into each individual one, right? Let's go with it. I'll assume that is right until proven otherwise. 5. Elemental. Water. The ability to manipulate water, be it a gentle wave or tidal crash, cannot be used to create water, only move what is already there. The most common elemental magic. This type of magic is the only one that an entire population of peoples has access to. After all, everyone living in the sea needs to be able to manipulate water, right? I have no idea how that works, but I guess I'll never know, since I cannot breathe underwater. Elemental ice. The ability to freeze water or create ice and manipulate it into workable structures, weapons, or pathways. I cannot imagine. Is it actually possible to walk on water? I've heard Carbon has ice abilities in addition to being a shapeshifter, so maybe she's the ice proxy? Elemental. Geo. 7th. Geo. The ability to forcefully shove and pull earth, precious stones, and rocks. Can be used to stir up sand into a sand stream as well. I've heard this is a pretty common magic to have in the mountains and desert. No surprise to hear. General Sirius of the Forest Kingdom army has earth abilities. Earth magic is seriously powerful. 8th. Elemental. Wind. The ability to create wind currents, soar in the air, enforce vortexes, whirlwinds, or delicate updrafts. Wind magic is something that all flying people have, whether it be bats or birds. Most birds live in the airplane, so I've never met one before. I wonder what it's like to fly. Cedric has wings and wind abilities, so either he's the wind proxy, or one of the two unknown individuals is, I think. 9th. Elemental. Pyro. The ability to create and extend fire across surfaces or in the air. I'm fairly certain the three-eyed wolf is known for having pyro abilities. Honestly, the mere thought terrifies me. If you don't know your own abilities, couldn't you, I don't know, burn yourself with your own magic? Talk about yikes. Wonder if Con has burn trauma. 10th. Elemental. Static. The ability to create a static discharge or dispel um, 10th. Elemental. Static. The ability to create a static discharge or dispel lightning from oneself into another, supposedly. The rarest form of all elemental magics. It's never been accurately documented, so I don't know what it's like, but Kai told me one of the jungle tribes prizes themselves on static magic. I wonder, could it be the Whimsy tribe? I can't communicate with Bakuda all the way out there, so I can't ask him, but I have a sneaking suspicion he may be the static proxy. Yeah. Sleep well. Thanks for being here. I wonder, what other magic is out there? Assuming shapeshifting counts. That means there are 4 other magics out there, right? So what could they be? Even Kai doesn't know, and he studies magic for a living. I wish I had the chance to ask Manu about it. Ah, right. They asked me an interesting question today too. Can you choose to have a dream with one of the others? Can you force it somehow? I honestly don't know the answer, but if there is a way to force it, I wonder if it would make it possible to meet the final 2. It would be nice to at least have a general idea of who they might be or where I might find them. Still, Roban and I leave tomorrow to find the unnamed burly rabbit. This will be interesting, I'm sure. Burned out more. Yeah. Bounty hunter. Okay. Oh, oh there's Robin. Who's that? That's not Con. Bounty hunter. Yeah. Son Kellic wasn't sure what his options were when it came to locating the burly rabbit with a heart-shaped mark over his eye, so he figured it was best to just ask around at the busiest places in Mistletoe Creek to see if anyone has seen him before. Yeah. Okay. Bounty hunter. Son Kellic wasn't sure what his options were when it came to locating the burly rabbit with a heart-shaped mark over his eye, so he figured it was best to just ask around at the busiest places in Mistletoe Creek to see if anyone has seen him before. Most people avoided his questions altogether, granting smug scoffs from Kai through Roban. People did think Roban was strange, but some recognized the machine to be Kai's, so they only really questioned why Con had Roban. Many think he stole it, but Kai must always be listening, because he manages to bail him out of sticky situations with the machine a lot. You know, maybe that heart-eyed rabbit isn't even in the mountains anymore. It's been a while, right? I can't help but think he may have left the mountain district already, Kai asked through Roban. My worry is that, what if he left to become a soldier? I don't want to get my family involved so soon, so I can't ask them to keep an eye out, or they'd get suspicious. I wouldn't want to bother a soldier anyhow. Maybe... Excuse me? Did you say Heart-Eye? A voice called out. Son Kellic looked around, unsure where the voice was coming from. Confused, Con asked Kai if he heard the voice, to which they agreed that they heard it too. Ah, sorry, I'm disguised as a crow right now. I'm on the lamppost above your head. Con looked up at the lamppost with a curious expression. There was indeed a crow perched on the lamp, but is it a shapeshifter? Or someone pulling a prank? Yes. Anyways, I know a bit about that rabbit, the crow added. You do? Are you? Con questioned. I am, but don't draw attention to me. Mistletoe Creek is full of racism against my kind, so I'd rather not be found out. I can't show my real face here either, or I'd scare everyone. As Con examined the crow more closely, he noticed that the crow appeared to have a total of 4 eyes. He's definitely a shapeshifter, though none would know unless he was really close to them. Hold out your hand, the crow states flatly. Son Kellic meekly holds out his hand, startling when the shapeshifter crow perches on his hand. He seems so similar to a real crow, almost as indistinguishable, aside from the extra set of eyes he had. So why have 4 eyes then, if you don't want to be found out? The one thing we cannot change is our eyes. You'd be wise to remember that. I see. So should we go somewhere more secluded? Standing in an alley like this may cause some unwanted attention, especially since I've a crow perched on my hand. Yes, anywhere without people is fine. But like I said, I won't be showing my face. Not even to you and your rabbit robot friend. I'm just using a voice box and camera, Crow, Kai chimes in. As Con settles on the path leading to McGannon Manor, the crow shapeshifter stretches out his wings and settles on a stone in front of where Con and Roban sat, awaiting his explanation. My name is Felix. I'm not from this area. In fact, I come from quite far away, but a tech genius friend of mine created a teleport gem for me to use to get to you. Munu wanted me to meet you all, so I can disclose some information about 2 of the marked individuals you're looking for. Oh? And who are they? Or rather, do you know what marks they have? Or like, what the different marks are, so I know what to look for? Con asked. The 14 marks are teardrop, star, heart, diamond, leaf, spiral, crown, lightning, fire, moon, skull, feather, and infinity. And flower, of course, which is you. I see. My best friend is the teardrop, and Kai is the diamond mark. The two I wish to talk to you about do not include the heart-marked individual, though I do believe he is a bounty hunter. I do not know how to locate him. Still, the leaf-marked individual may be able to help you track him down. The leaf mark? Who are they? Kai asked. I'm not sure what name they use now, as I believe they've transitioned to a new identity since I last saw them, but they are a Kotimundi with a leaf mark on their cheek. They won't be easy to get to know, but you must forgive them for their bluntness. They've had a rather rough life. Have you heard of Littlebark? Littlebark, Kai exclaimed to Ruban. Ah, you've heard of it then? No, not me. Please elaborate, Con pressed. Littlebark is a town in the Southern Forest District. The place is known now as a place where a plague destroyed the town, killing everyone in it. Or so they believed. The leaf-marked individual was a special child. I raised them in harsh circumstances after finding them all alone there. I can't give you too much information after all. I don't want to reveal information too personal to people they don't know. So Littlebark had a survivor, I asked, not expecting a response. Indeed. Also Sonkalik. Manu mentioned that you had brought up a child-marked individual? Someone who's likely 9 or 10? Yes, I did. That child is the feather-marked individual, Kiza. I am currently taking care of them in the wildlands near the Twin Mountain River border. Kiza is suffering in an abusive household at this time, so while I work on getting them out of this sticky situation, ask that you do not search for them. They wouldn't likely trust you due to their trust issues at this time anyways, but I'd hate for you to frighten them. Oh, that's tough. I hope you're able to help them out of it all then, Con replied. Thank you. Anyways, I heard the bounty hunter and leaf-marked individuals have met at some point. The leaf-marked individual can likely be found near the remains of Littlebark or Moontrail Lake, nearby the abandoned town. And don't drink the water in Littlebark. That's the source of the plague, I hear. Oh, I see. Thank you for the advice. Kai, do you care if I stay one more night at the manor and head out towards Littlebark tomorrow? You're going alone? Kai asked with a curious tone of voice. Yep, I am. Maybe I'll get along with the leaf-marked individual, right? And if this bounty hunter is in town still, you should stay nearby to find them. You'll let me take Roban with me to keep contact there, right? Yes, you can take Roban. He's equipped with some defensive shields too. If it comes down to it, he will deploy a shield to protect you, Con. Kai responded. Good to know. Anyways, Felix, was it? Will we meet again? I'm sure we will. Until then, farewell, you two. I must return to Kiza now. Con had been staying with Kai for a little over a week, trying to locate the heart-marked individual. Now, their course of action was derailed into finding the leaf-marked individual instead. While they ate dinner, Kai ran Roban's reports from the encounter with Felix. The data that Roban passively collected from Felix gave valuable data related to shapeshifting magic. It registered just a bit of some other magic, just not enough to identify it. Were you worried about me back there? You kept Roban pressed against me the entire time we talked to Felix. It was a bit strange, Con asked. When he said his appearance would scare us, I fear he meant he was a wolf shapeshifter. We should be cautious around people like that, otherwise we may end up giving information to the wrong people. A wolf? What makes you say that? Scare people around him? Not to mention wanting to go somewhere more private? The four eyes thing also gives me the creeps. Did it ever occur to you that the eyes were the reason he was worried about his appearance scaring others? Could be, but he admitted to being from the wildlands. Well, that gives us an in, doesn't it? Besides, he also said he raised a leaf-marked individual near Moontrail. That's in the forest district, just like he said. If anything, we can ask the leaf-marked person about him. Still doesn't make me any less suspicious of him. Be more careful next time. He could be friendly, but the next one to pull that stunt may not be. So you were worried? That last remark about the shield was more of a threat to Felix, if anything. More of a, if you try something, I can record it and pop a shield to prevent any problems. Got it? Yeah, consent. That Keyser kid, though. Yeah, I thought that was weird too. Why mention the abuse to us out of the blue like that? Is it a warning to stay away or I might get hurt? Or something else entirely? I'm not sure. But if we find a way to dream connect you to the kid, we should try to find out sooner rather than later. I think we're too far east for that. The Twin Mountain River border of the Wildlands is probably too far away to connect to Kiza right now. But I'm a bit curious to hear your thoughts about something. Do you think that there are people living in the Twin Mountain District? Living there? No, I doubt it. It's unlivable, isn't it? Then what's that big structure in the Twin Mountain region? What structure? The big spire tower thing. I saw it out in the distance on the bus ride to Davenport. A tower in the Twin Mountains? I guess I never looked in that direction. I'll do some research while you're out to hopefully get some answers. Alright, never mind then. Anyways, we should continue tomorrow. I'll update my journal, then be off to bed for an early start to the train station. Then I'll head towards the nearest stop to Little Park. Is in darkness? Mm. Just trying to decide whether I read the next chapter through. Ah, the big combo page. Right. Mm. Oh, I haven't managed to raid Knockout. I'll raid real quick. Thanks for coming, everyone. And I'll let's see. I might have some time to stream after work next week, but after that it'll be a busy time. Hmm. Maybe I should read ahead and be ready. So I'm more familiar with the text before I record it, or I just use this reading. Yeah.